This is the Transformers Generation Select Legacy United Autobots Stand United 5-pack featuring Jazz, Sunstreaker, Trailbreaker, Wheeljack, and the new figure Autobot Hound. I picked up this set from Robo, and for this review, we will be focusing on Autobot Jazz, the cartoon-accurate redeco of Studio Series 86 Autobot Jazz. Let's get him out of packaging. And here is Legacy United Selects Jazz out of the box, and he's actually looking not too shabby. I honestly thought when I took him out of the box that he felt cheap, and I realized it's the same cheap plastic that they used for the Studio Series 86 figure, just in obviously different shade of white and black. I'll show that the comparison later, but he's actually looking pretty good. Very cartoon accurate, and I love the color of white plastic that they chose for this figure. And he no longer has the clear bits. We'll talk more about that later. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new Legacy United Select Deluxe Class Jazz. Head to toe, the figure still stands at about 13¼ centimeters tall, or about 5 1/4 inches tall. For comparisons, here he is with the first version of the mold, the Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Jazz, as well as the buzzworthy Bumblebee Target exclusive Cybertronian version of Deluxe Class Jazz, his Cybertronian mode. And you know, I really thought this was going to be an easy decision of which one to pick, and you know, at least between these two. But looking at him now alongside these two other figures, he actually looks pretty good. He has this cartoon accuracy vibe about him, and this figure is really making it a very difficult decision to choose which one to keep and which one to let go. Because the original, if you look at it, this one to begin with was really an off-white color. It was more toy accurate. This one is a lot more show accurate. That's why it's a lot brighter. They've also redone the black plastic. This one looks so cheap, I kid you not. And this one is a lot premium looking, glossy black finish for the black plastic. This one is just a dull matte off black, if there's such a color. It's a lighter shade of black plastic that they've used. The blue paint that they used is very different. This one is more consistent with the paint on the chest. You can see right here, there's a bright blue paint on his chest and just the sky blue, baby blue paint on the waist. Autobot logo is obviously different. This one is more toy accurate. This one is a lot more show accurate. You get more paint apps here with the legs, and instead of silver for the legs and feet, they've used this glossy gray plastic, much like what they trying to do with the other cartoon accurate figures like Cliff Jumper. For the gun, if you notice, they've painted almost the entire gun silver. They didn't leave out any white bits except for the handle, which is the same for this one. But the main difference is the silver plastic that they used is not as metallic shiny as the Studio Series version. This one it's still metallic and shiny, but it's a duller shade of silver. And the biggest difference is really the backpack, where the windshield and windows for the car mode is. And instead of using clear bits, they've now done away with that and used white plastic that they've painted with that sky blue paint, which hopefully in the long run is a lot more sturdier and less prone to cracking than this one. The head sculpt for all three figures are identical as far as I can tell. The only big difference really is the paint apps and the color of plastic that they used. And among the three, this one is still the best in my opinion. This one's pretty good too, and he's probably my least favorite. He's just too cartoony looking, but that's what they were going for. In terms of premium plastic, this one still is the best. In terms of weight, I honestly thought this would be like a few grams lighter than this one, because he felt really, really light. And you can see there's, instead of silver, there's gray on the abdomen. But I took out the weighing scale and they weigh exactly 73 grams. This one weighs like 94 grams. Interesting. And as far as mold degradation goes, all the joints are still super tight. Nothing to complain about degradation for this figure. So transformation, put the weapon off to the side. Let's see if they've made transformation for this figure much easier. Fold the fists inward. Still feel pretty tight. Open up the backpack, fold out the wings, fold out this back piece right here. Untab the chest. Go ahead and rotate that waist piece. Fold down the head. Fold up this piece and join it with that piece right there. And then here's the biggest test, because this is the most difficult part of the transformation, combining the backpack onto the chest. Let's see if they've made it easier. Okay, a little easier, but still not not the easiest. It's still not the smoothest transformation, but you can be assured it's less cringy, it's less, you're less worrisome, because you don't have the risk of, the clear plastic cracking. Okay, the arms, rotate this way. Bicep joint is still tight. Okay, and then you're gonna tab the doors and secure the forearms onto the legs. Fold up the feet. Fold these pieces up. Collapse the knee joints. Combine the feet together. Tab the legs onto the rear windshield. Tab, and there we go. There is Jazz in his alt mode. It's still a pain to transform, unfortunately. They haven't changed much of that. They didn't improve on the clearances and all that. Put the gun here, of course, but robots in disguise, you don't need that gun. He looks very cartoon accurate. I love that the rims are still painted metallic silver and not gray. Put the gray bits here and there. You got some paint right here on the sides. I'm scuffing. Man, quality issues with the paint. I mean, look at that. There's a smudge of black on the blue paint. I mean, on the bonnet, it came out great. The windows came out great, but you can see some imperfections here and there. I mean, come on, Hasbro. This is a Transformers figure. This is not a Marvel Legends figure. You should be able to rectify that, but overall, he doesn't look bad. I really thought when they released photoshopped images of this figure, I thought that it would be too cartoony for my liking. But as it turns out, I'm liking it. I don't know what to say. I had judged this prematurely, and I really thought it wasn't going to be as great. But now that I have him, he actually looks pretty good. So let's compare him with the original Studio Series 86 version. I mean, this thing is still great. It looks so much like the toy because of the clear plastic. I'm a little partial with the clear plastic, so I don't know. But I do love the cartoon accuracy of this version. Look at that. Autobots, transform and roll out. I mean, it does look like the G1 version. Oh, this is a tough one. But yeah, and let's bring in the Cybertronian mode. Oh yeah, definitely Jazz. Very cool. And so some final thoughts on this Legacy United Selects Deluxe Class Jazz. I thought the figure came out great. It does feel a little bit cheap, and the colors, because it's trying to be cartoon accurate, Hasbro decided to use the less than premium look of the plastics for the black pieces, some of the white pieces, the silver paint on the gun, even the gray bits and all that. There's some shoddy workmanship on the paint apps. That's why it kind of feels like it's the cheaper version, or the cheaper looking version between the two molds. But overall, I thought it looks great. Now, as far as deciding which one to keep, if you're the type who, like me, who's now trying to just keep one version of the mold and trying to get rid of the repaints and all that, it's not as cut and dry of a decision as I thought it would be. And it's all going to boil down to a matter of preference. If you're like me, who prefers my figures to look like how they look like in the cartoon show or in the movie, then the choice would be to keep the new Selects version. If, however, you like your figures looking like how they did back in the 80s, like the original toy, then the Studio Series 86 is the logical choice. If you are a big Jazz fan, you love the sort of sergeant of the Autobots, then you got to get everybody. You got to get him, you got to get both and keep both. But it is a tough decision, and I really love the Studio Series 86 version. If you already have that one, there's really no need to get this one. If you missed out on that one and you still prefer the Toy Accurate version, this thing is going to have a packaging refresh. A package refresh is just a fancy way of saying a reissue. It's like what they did with the Studio Series 86 Sharkticon Gnaw. They've reissued him in a different kind of packaging together with Sunstreaker and Sideswipe for the Studio Series, for that Studio Series wave. But they're going to reissue this figures. Don't worry. Don't spend triple the amount of the retail price for this one. It's going to be reissued and the price is going to go down. It really is a good figure, and honestly I think it looks more premium than the Selects version, and ultimately I think it is the better figure. But like I said, if you really want show accuracy, cartoon accuracy, and to a certain extent I'm kind of like that because I preferred the cartoon accurate Cliffjumper over the toy accurate one, so I got rid of my Earthrise one. I really like how this thing turned out, and it's going to be a very difficult decision. Hasbro, why are you doing this to me? Anyway, the figure, because it kind of feels a little cheap, it's going to get a 9.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section, which one of these two figures would you keep? Which one do you prefer? You like to keep both? You like to buy all three of them? Let me know in the comment section, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.